That right there is the River Trent, and I'm going to be exploring the two teams that make up the Trent side derby. Notts County and Nottingham Forest. Oh look, here's a little sneak peek. There it is, the City Ground, the home of Nottingham Forest. I'll be delving into both clubs in a bit. I'm going to investigate both stadiums, but yeah, both clubs are so close together that they contest the closest derby in England when they play each other, that is. I'm going to put on screen right now a graph of their comparative league finishes over the years, and you can see how Notts County have really sort of fallen over time, and how Nottingham Forest have risen and then fallen a bit. But since around wartime, the wartime era, it's been all Forest. Look how much more their red line is consistently above the grey-black line of Notts County. Nottingham Forest over time have finished higher than Notts County by a hell of a lot, and there's only been like 1 or 2 seasons post World War II where Notts County have finished above Nottingham Forest. I've never even been to Nottingham before, I don't think. Maybe I came as a kid, I have no idea. I've certainly never seen either grounds before. I've never seen a game at either of them before. But yeah, here is the River Trent, and soon enough we should be able to get a little vantage point where we are able to see both grounds. But yeah, we'll be going up to both of them individually as well. Please do remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. It'd be great to see you around here more often watching my content. I make videos about football clubs from all around the world. Oh, and there is Notts County. Look, you can see the flag just over there. We'll be going over there in a sec. Wow, what a ground. I think it could be the biggest non-league ground in England in terms of capacity. That may have changed, but I think that was a stat that I've read before. Wow, yeah, and you can see why this is the closest derby in England, only separated by the River Trent, which that there must be a little estuary of. Wow, look at this place. How beautiful is this? So Notts County, who are just the other side of the River Trent there, were formed in 1862 and are currently the oldest professional football club in the world. 3 years later, Forest, which is right there, were formed. Right, and there are 2 bridges, one over there and one over there, that will be linking the 2 football clubs. So I'm going to walk across one of them very shortly once I've checked out the Forest Stadium. Look how cute that little French bulldog is down there. Yeah, once I've checked out the City Ground here, I'm going to head across to Notts County. But what is the record like between the 2? It's actually closer than I thought. After looking at their like comparative league positions, I'd have thought that it was way higher to Forest than it actually is. Forest have won 40 out of the total meetings between the 2 teams. County have won 30, and there's been 26 draws, so there isn't a huge amount in it. But yeah, let's go and explore this place first. This is beautiful. What an area for a football ground this is. Quite a good amount of stuff to see on the outside of the City Ground here. But yeah, whilst Notts County are the oldest professional club in the world, I believe Nottingham Forest are the oldest EFL club. Of course, Notts County are currently in the National League, but in terms of EFL League football, I believe Nottingham Forest are the oldest. And I showed you the graph of the 2 teams compared earlier on, but let's just have a look at Forest's quickly. Pre-World War I, they were mostly a top-tier club. Then tiers 2 between, and then about tier 2 between the 2 world wars. Post World War II, they were up there as one of the best teams in the land for quite a long time, as you can see, consistently in the top tier. And then during the late 90s, they got relegated from the Premier League, and they've never been back. That's such a massive club, Nottingham Forest. And we've seen clubs like West Brom come and go. We've seen Bournemouth come and go. Blackburn are a massive club. Burnley have been in it for a long time. Brentford are currently in the Premier League, but just kind of shade the wind out of cover the wind here a little bit. But yeah, Forest have been out of the top tier of England for a very long time, considering how big a club they are. It's a shame. I was just looking around there to see if there was like a way in or another thing to look at or whatever, but there wasn't, so I'm just going to head back down here. There's some stuff I need to tell you. What have Forest won? Well, it's quite easy to tell one of the big telltale signs that they've got a load of legends plaques along the walls. Here's Roy Keane, look, who got sold to Man United for quite a big fee, maybe a record at the time. But look, as you can see there, the 2 stars under the Forest badge. I'm sure a lot of you will know what it means, but for those of you who don't, we'll get into that in just a second. I don't want to gloss over too much about their history and about the stuff they've won, but there are the 2 stars are what I really need to tell you about in this video more than anything. But they have won 1 league title. That was in 1978. They have also won 3 second-tier titles and 1 third-tier title. They have also won 2 FA Cups, 4 League Cups and 1 Super Cup. But yes, what about these stars? What do they mean? What do they mean? Well, they have won a Super Cup, and if you win the Super Cup, it means you've won something else, doesn't it? You have to win something else to qualify for the Super Cup. And what did they win? Look, Madrid. Who is Madrid? That's not a player, is it? That signifies one of the European Cups that they won, which is one of those stars. And there is a Munich plaque just over there, which we'll go to in a sec, which signifies the other star. Look at that. There's a little plaque of Brian Clough. They're one of their great 7 managers, who we will also be getting onto in just a second, next to the Madrid plaque here. And it was in Madrid that they actually won their 2nd European Cup. That was in 1980, and they beat Hamburg in Madrid to win, back-to-back European Cups. That was, of course, under the stewardship of legendary manager Brian Clough, which we'll be getting onto in a second. And there is even a statue of the great manager closer towards Nottingham city centre. It's a shame there's not one outside the ground, at least I don't think there is. But yeah, let's get across to the other plaque just quickly. A year before their triumph in Madrid, they played another European Cup final, and it was in, here we go, look, it was in Munich. So they played in Munich in 1979 and they beat Malmo in the final. And they had legends like Trevor Francis. I'm sure Martin O'Neill was part of the squad as well. I'm probably missing a load off, but of course I am. But yeah, they've had some absolute legends play for the club. And yeah, they've won 2 European Cups. That's as many as Chelsea. It's more than Man City. It's more than Spurs. It's more than Arsenal. It's more than Newcastle. Like, a lot of these clubs haven't won a European Cup. These massive Premier League teams that you think of today haven't won even 1 European Cup. Of course, Chelsea have won 2 in recent years, but it's Forest who did it back in the 70s, back in the 80s, who won 2 on the bounce as well. There ain't many clubs who have won it 2 in a row, let me tell you. So Brian Howard Clough was born in 1935 in Middlesbrough. He scored 251 goals in 274 games for Borough and for Sunderland, and even earned himself 2 England caps. As part of the montage, you may have seen a bit of rowing boat or whatever. There's a lot of rowing clubs, look to my left right now. Beautiful area down by the river here, really nice. Back to Brian Clough though, who did he manage? Hartlepool, Derby, Brighton and Leeds before coming to Forest. And he did a great job at Derby, who are actually big rivals of Nottingham Forest these days. I think their biggest rivalry would be against Notts County, their local rivals. However, yeah, they've not been in the same division for so long that I do believe their rivalries with Derby have become more fierce over the years. And here we go, look, I think that's telling me to go this way. The city centre's that way as well. But yeah, back to Clough again. Cloughie took, well, Cloughie and his assistant Peter Taylor, who was credited with a lot of their success, to be fair, the assistant manager. Yeah, I can't talk about Clough and not talk about Peter Taylor either. He was a legend and he went with him pretty much everywhere he went. Between the 2 of them, they took Derby from the 2nd division, mediocrity, to champions of England. What a job they did there, before going to other clubs and then eventually settling on Forest. He came to Forest in 1975, leaving 18 years later with a league title, 4 League Cups, 2 European Cups and a Super Cup under his belt. So a lot of those trophies that I reeled off when I was down there about what Forest had won, a lot of them were under just the stewardship of Brian Clough. Yeah, and like I just mentioned, Brian Clough's an incredible manager, but it's Peter Taylor, his assistant, with which a lot of the successes are credited. He couldn't have done it without him and he wouldn't have been able to do it on his own. The 2 sadly fell out and didn't speak for a long period of time before Peter Taylor died, and they never had their yeah, they never made up before Peter Taylor died, and it was said to have devastated Cloughie. How often do you see that with, yeah, famous people who fall out and then never speak to each other again? One of them dies sadly and then they never get to make up. It's such a sad story. They're so good for English football and what they've done in the game, but yeah, real sad ending to what was an amazing career for them both. I could do a whole series of videos on Clough and Taylor. It would just take too long to go into it right now. I've just covered it briefly. If you want to find out more about the 2, then I suggest you watch the film The Damned United. and we're coming up to Notts County's ground now, Meadow Lane, the home of the oldest professional football club in the world. I've seen the oldest club in the world. Thumbnail will be on screen right now. That is Sheffield FC. They are considered the world's oldest club. They're non-league. They're not professional, I don't think, either. They're not fully professional anyway. Players don't get paid much, not like Notts County here, who want to get back to the Football League. And who do we have here? Legends of the Lane. I don't even know who this is. It's a real shame there's no legends outside of Notts Forest. But look, who do we have here? We have Jimmy Cyril, the most successful manager in Notts County's history. Club record with 3 promotions from Division 4 to Division 1 of the Football League, 1971, 73 and 81. He did fantastically well. Alex Ferguson said about him. And Jack Wheeler, 1,152 consecutive Notts County matches as physio, coach, trainer and caretaker manager from 57 to 83, the most loyal servant in the club's history. And here they are here, 2 absolute legends of the club. And there seems to be a little bit of something on, a few cobwebs on his face. Let's clear them off for you, sir. There you go. Wow, look at that. Legends of the Lane. I've got loads of crazy facts to tell you about the club, but look, there's a little gate open here. Let's see if we can sneak a quick look at the pitch. There's even a reception open. There's a stand open. I'm going to ask if I can have a look around. I'm going to go in the reception in a sec, but let me just get a quick pic from here. I had some awful luck at Aston Villa earlier. I don't know if I'll even release the video, but they said I couldn't film at the tour. Booked the tour, paid for the tour, and then they said I couldn't film, so I just left. They were so nice, the staff, but someone at the club said I couldn't film, and they were so understanding about the people on the tour. But yeah, they were just a bit weird about it, like as a club in general. But just wish me luck about Notts County. Here we go. This is one of the worst days ever. They said because of COVID I can't come in here today, and to get in contact with the club I emailed the club months ago about wanting to make a video at the home of the oldest club in the country. Depends on the person picking up the email, what they're doing that day, what yeah, sometimes you can turn up on the day, meet a legend, or be like, yeah, come on, I'll show you around. Inverness Caledonian Thistle, big club up in Scotland, turned up on the day and they were more than happy to show me around. It's just, like I say, depends on who you get. But yeah, here we are now. Look, Jimmy Cyril stand. I'm sure it actually said Jimmy Cyril was one of those people with the statue out there, I believe. But Notts County, I've got some amazing facts about them, but this is as much as I'm probably going to be able to see just from here. So yeah, I'm going to get some montage clips and then tell you a little bit more about the club. And we'll have a look around the ground as well and see what else we can find. So for their first 50 years, they played at different grounds, including Trent Bridge, which is the cricket ground, which is right near this stuff as well, which is literally right the opposite side of the Nottingham Forest Stadium as well. They, yeah, after around 50 years of playing at different grounds and stuff, they finally moved here to Meadow Lane in 1910 and have remained here ever since. But yeah, as you can see, look, they are known as the Magpies. Common U Pies, the Magpies, there's a couple of magpies on the badge, and look at their black and white stripes as well. Yes, they are the oldest club in the world, and yes, Juventus are way big, or not the oldest club in the world, the oldest professional club in the world, and yes, Juventus are way bigger than them, but Juventus actually took inspiration from Notts County and their black and white stripes, and that is why Juventus have black and white stripes on their kit to this day. Also, for all the driving I'm doing and all the disappointments I've had, the least you could do is just hit that like button for me, or subscribe, or follow me on Instagram or Twitter or something, just to make this sad man a little bit happier. They were one of the original founding members of the Football League, one of the 12 clubs, along with clubs like Villa, Wolves, who else? Stoke, West Brom, I think, as well. Yeah, there's a lot of clubs, or 12 clubs, that Accrington, I think, were one as well, Everton, founders of the Football League, and in the 1890-91 season, they finished third, and 10 years later, they finished third again, and that is their highest ever league finish to date. They reached the 1891 FA Cup final, losing to Blackburn. 3 years later, in 1894, they'd reached the final again, this time beating Bolton. So they do have an FA Cup to their name, Notts County. Big old club. I'm pretty sure it was Neil Warnock who was the last manager to get them into the top flight. And here is on screen right now is their league positions in history. Look at them in pre-World War I, constantly in the top tier pretty much, except from a few years in their really early stages. And then you can see the decline in between the wars, and then after World War II they started in the 3rd tier and have been up and down, bouncing around a little bit ever since. They've had a little bit of top flight action in the 70s and maybe once in the 90s, but they went straight up and then got relegated the season before the Premier League was due to start. So they never got to play Premier League football, this club, either. But who knows where they'd be now if they'd have stayed up back then. And yeah, look, just in more recent times on that little graph that is still on screen just now, you can see their huge decline from when they were last in the top flight, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, a bit of tier 3 again, tier 4, and then tier 5, non-league for such a massive club. Doesn't seem like they're the type of team that belongs in the non-league. Obviously, football is a results game, so who belongs where, really? It's all about the results and stuff. But yeah, real shame to see them languishing down there, because it's such a massive club. They've won an FA Cup, founding members of the Football League, oldest professional club in the world, currently non-league. Who do you support? Forest fan, are you? Oh, what do you think of Notts County? They're all right. What about Derby? Hate them. Nice one, mate. Anyway, legend, thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. Nice one. Yeah, you too, man. Thanks. There you go. Look at that. You come all this way, have a terrible day, can't get into Villa, can't get into Notts County, can't get into Forest. You hear a beep, you turn around, there's a geezer in his van saying he's seen my videos, he watched my Spurs and Arsenal ones. What an absolute legend, what a nice guy. He's really put a smile back on my face. Yeah, and he was a Forest fan. I said, what do you think about Notts County? And he was like, yeah, they're all right. But I said, what do you think about Derby? He hates Derby, but Notts County not so much, I guess. Yeah, looking at the league positions of the two clubs over time, it is going to be hard, I guess, for both teams to sort of hate each other like they would have done years ago, because they've not played each other for so long. Forest are the bigger side. Could you say that? I mean, these lads here, founding members of the Football League. Forest have won 2 European Cups. So it's really sad to see a team like Forest, who have won 2 European Cups, and a team like Notts County, who have won the FA Cup and were founding members of the Football League, to see that team across the river languishing in the Championship and haven't been out of that for years, and then this team here languishing in the non-leagues. They can't even play each other regularly because of the difference between the two clubs. They both need a bit of, I don't know, it seems like they're a couple of sleeping giants. It really does. They need some Saudi cash in Nottingham. If there's any Saudis watching, anyone from Qatar, anyone with oil reserves in Russia or wherever, or any Chinese businessmen, tech tycoons from the States, if there's anyone watching, can you please take over a club each? Get yourself, get one of your billionaire mates to take over the other one and have a battle and try and get these clubs back to where they belong, because right now it seems like these two clubs are two huge sleeping giants. I mean, look at the 20,000 seater stadium for a non-league ground. I can't imagine they fill it up too often, but they just need to rise through the divisions, don't they? Despite a few disappointments today at Aston Villa and then not being able to get in at Notts County, I am very thankful for the way the world is right now. Match day vlogs, stadium tours were pretty much the only videos I did, with the exception of a few run-in videos here and there at the start of the channel. And yeah, all I ever wanted to do was just be able to come to new places and make videos. And yeah, I need to be thankful. Although I've had a bit of a bad day today, I am very thankful just to be in Nottingham. And yeah, like during COVID, I really had to rethink about how to make videos, because there was no games to go to, there was no stadium tours to do, everything was shut, of course, you know how it's been. So yeah, it's been really tough in terms of making content. Obviously there have been bigger issues in the world, hence the lockdowns, etc. But yeah, I've just got to be thankful really that I'm here in Nottingham checking out these two amazing football clubs. If you could please hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. I'm getting like attacked by pigeons here. If you could hit that like button, that'd be fantastic. That guy in the van really made my day, and you could make it as well by subscribing and hitting the like button. I'd really appreciate it. What a great couple of clubs these seem like. I'm gonna have to come and watch them play eventually. I'll leave some videos on screen. Please do click on one to carry on watching. Made videos from loads of different clubs, so if you're interested in a specific club, type that in and Footy Adventures and just see what comes up. I've made videos about so many clubs, hundreds and hundreds. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.